One of the scribes came up to Jesus and put a question to him. "Which is the first of all the commandments?" And Jesus replied, "This is the first. Listen, Israel. The Lord our God is the one Lord, and you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this: you must love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these." The scribe said to him, "Well spoken, Master. What you have said is true, that he is one and there is no other. To love him with all your heart, with all your understanding and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. This is far more important than any holocaust or sacrifice." Jesus, seeing how wisely he had spoken, said, "You are not far from the kingdom of God." And after that, no one dared to question him any more. Do you know that in Pittsburgh, it's illegal to sleep in a refrigerator? And in Indiana, it's against the law to visit a theatre within 4 hours of eating garlic. In Georgia, it's illegal for a chicken to cross the road. And in Alabama, you can't wear a false mustache to church if it's likely to make anyone laugh. There's some pretty strange laws out there. I'm sure they all came about for good reason, but I've got no idea what that reason might be. Maybe the people of Georgia had had enough of "why did the chicken cross the road" jokes, so they banned the practice altogether. Maybe it's got something to do with the welfare of livestock, or road safety, or public hygiene. I just don't know. If I did, maybe the law prohibiting chickens crossing the road would make more sense. Although I'm still not sure who would be prosecuted, the chicken or the one responsible for it. Sometimes we need to understand the principle behind the law, the reason for it, before we can really understand the law itself, before we can keep that law in the spirit that it was originally intended. I think the same is true for our religious laws, that we can only really keep them in the spirit they were intended if we understand the principle that lies behind them. That was the purpose of the question of the lawyer in the gospel. When he asked, "What's the first of the commandments?" He was looking for a guiding principle, something that would help him interpret and live by the law in the spirit in which it was meant. For us, that spirit is love. Love of God and of neighbor. The two go together. And it's only if we keep that principle in mind that we can really understand and live by the laws of our religion and of our church. It's only when we ask ourselves, how does what is being asked of me further love, deepen love, witness to love? It's only when we can answer those questions that our practices and our traditions and our rules and regulations really make sense and really begin to be helpful.